All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. And I'm really excited that we get to talk about self-efficacy at the Science Hub. So, thank you so much, William, for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, real quick, just from kind of a 30,000 foot level perspective, what do you define as self-efficacy?
Yeah, it's a good question. Self-efficacy essentially is one's inner belief, right, in their abilities to accomplish a specific task or a set of tasks to achieve a particular goal.
Great. So that's a really interesting concept because I know at VCU, having been in career services with you for a couple years and us dealing with students, that we have a population of students where some come in extremely confident and have a lot of support, and I would say that's like maybe 20% of our students, and then the other 80%, maybe this is where they really struggle, is coming into college and having that belief that they can accomplish all of these things that they want to accomplish. What kind of strategies do you think are important for someone to build up their self-efficacy or their confidence?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, first of all, it's important to know and understand for students that coming in and feeling a little unsure of themselves, feeling like it's a big pond here and you may be a small fish is normal, right? It's normal, it's natural, even for some of our top students, even for some of our high achieving students. They have those periods where they have that feeling and it's almost like, okay, what do I do here? I'm not feeling as confident as I was coming out of high school. And so just being able to identify that and accept that, I think, is the first step in understanding that it's okay. It's a natural process. And the whole concept of self-efficacy can give you a roadmap to how to address it and how to sort of conquer the task or the goals that are in front of you in terms of achieving a degree, which ultimately is the goal for most of our students. And so I think going beyond that first step of understanding and recognizing sort of the imposter syndrome feelings that you're having and accepting that and not being too hard on yourself as a student once you feel those feelings is the first step. And then as you move forward, there are really four major tenets of self-efficacy that each student can control to give them a better opportunity or a better chance to achieve their goals, whatever they are here academically at VCU. Those four tenets are within the realm of the student's control, right? So it's not anything that they have to worry about faculty members doing or other students doing for them. It's within their own control. And it's really based off this social cognitive theory that what is around you affects you, is basically what it synthesizes into, right? What you see, what you hear, ultimately affect your inner belief in your own ability to achieve. And so when we talk about the four tenets, we can start with self-mastery, which is one of the ones that I think is most important that students struggle with. And it's really understanding that at this point in your life, you have some accomplishments that you should be proud of. And by achieving those accomplishments, you've developed a skill set that you can transfer to be successful in other aspects in life, including academics. And so sitting down, maybe writing a list of the last 3 or 4 major accomplishments in your life. Obviously, one of them may be graduating high school, right? But they could be as small as, earning a black belt in a martial arts discipline or mastering a video game, right? It doesn't have to be anything grand or big. And then write down 2 or 3 skills that it took to really achieve those goals. And then understand, okay, those are skills that I have in my tool belt now, and I can pull those out and then try to figure out how to transfer those to the academic realm, right? So we talk about the martial arts example, discipline, focus, dedication, those are all things you need to be high achieving in martial arts, and those are easily transferable to academics. And so once you start to go through that exercise, I think students will recognize that, hey, I have some skills that can be helpful here and that can help me move forward and be successful here. And so give yourself some credit as a student. You're not here on accident. You've been successful to a certain degree in your life to get here, and give yourself credit for the skills that it took for you to get here. I think the second tenet of self-efficacy that's controllable by students is social modeling, right? Finding role models, whether it's faculty members, whether it's upperclassmen, whether it's supportive staff, such as you or me, who have sort of similar, similar aspects of their life with the students that they can identify. And then they can recognize that, hey, there is a living, breathing human who is very similar to I am, who has already achieved what I'm attempting to achieve. Just that identification alone gives you more belief internally that I can do this, right? And so that would be the second tenet. And then the third is social persuasion. And I think this is one of the ones that most students struggle with as well, along with self-mastery, due to social media. But really, social persuasion refers to who you surround yourself with, right? What type of messages you intake, whether it's your close set of friends, whether it's your social media crew, whatever it is, but you want to make sure you surround yourself with people who are positive, people who have similar like goals, people who are going to pick you up when you're down, right? People who are going to help you when you need help, people who are going to stand by your side during tough times. And that can be difficult with Instagram and Facebook and some of the social media outlets. But if you are able to control that and block the people that you need to block and surround yourself with positive friends that all know about your goals and your strengths and your weaknesses, that aspect can be very uplifting and help you sort of move along when you need that subtle nudge to keep yourself on track. And then the fourth tenet of self-efficacy is psychological responses, right? There's no way around it. The journey you're facing now is going to have some storms, right? There's going to be some rainy days. There are going to be some tough times. Nobody earns a degree without some tough times. And I think we can all attest to that. But the plan is to come up with what your umbrella is going to be, right? What are you going to use to shield yourself during those times? It could be something as simple as, vigorous exercise or yoga or going to see a movie or late night Netflix. But everyone at this point in their life, every student should have an idea of what type of activities help them to cope, help them to deal with tough times. It could be, having a conversation with mom or whatever it is. Make a list of those things, put them where you can see them and refer to them, and come up with a plan now for when those rainy times come, how you're going to get through them. And by simply controlling those four aspects of your college experience, you can dramatically increase your chances of earning your degree and having a successful path towards a career.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. So then, given that we're, always seeing new students coming in every semester, what do you think, how would a student incorporate this right now, getting ready for their next set of classes, their current set of classes? What can they do as maybe a series of assessments or assignments to help them on this path of completing these 4 steps? Can you give some kind of examples of what they could be doing to really hone in on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I sort of touched on earlier, to identify your mastery experiences, just make a list of 3 or 4 things that you have achieved in the past year that you're really proud of. And then without even thinking too much into it, just write down what kind of skills it took to get there. Then you take that list and you start to come up with how those skills can be transferred to academic life, right? And you come up with a plan to understand where and when you can use these skill sets that you've already developed, right?
Okay, so
that's the first step. I think also making sure you're connecting with other students, with faculty members, with support staff, to get to know who's around, what their skill sets are, what kind of people they are, so that you can begin to identify who you want your immediate crew to be here at VCU, including your friends, right? Your roommates, the people that you eat with, the people that you study with. There may be people from your town or where you're from that have similar goals that are here at VCU. And just by connecting with them, and coming up with a plan on how you all can spend time together and push each other and motivate each other is a second step that can be taken. And then a third step is finding some mentors, right? You at least need to find one mentor, and it may take you a semester or two, but that's part of the process of going to visit your professors during office hours. That's one thing I stress. Every professor that you have, especially in your hard sciences, go to office hours day one, right? Day one, a lot of students, don't have a lot of questions or issues with homework or whatnot. So there should be a clear path for you to get in there and connect with your professor and introduce yourself and let them know where you are or who you are, where you're from, and some of your career and academic goals. Then there may be a connecting bond there. And just by putting yourself in that space, you're going to find somebody that you connect with on some level, and that can be sort of a start to identifying a role model for yourself. And then the last thing is come up with a list of what you know that you need during tough times, right? When things aren't going well, you're already away from home. You may be homesick. You may have failed a test. Go back to your previous experiences and come up with a list of things that you can do to get yourself over the hump, to get over that as quickly as possible and get back to business. And I think if you follow those, that's a set of steps that students can do day one here at VCU that can increase their chances in being successful here.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to come talk with me and to help others learn about self-efficacy and how they can take advantage of this really cool concept of helping them build up their own confidence in themselves while they start their journey here at VCU.
Absolutely. My pleasure. This is a passion of mine. And I think it's important to note that this isn't my theory, right? This isn't my sort of set of experiences that I'm basing this off of. This is a well-researched, scientific-based theory that has proven results. And so I would challenge any student out there to give it a try. And if it doesn't help you, and if it doesn't improve your chances of doing better, come find me on campus and let's have a conversation.
Perfect.